This is my greeting. I can't go anywhere until I get all of my pets in. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so today we have on the docket. I'm trying to get all these things planted. So I can start some more seeds. Oh look, there's the cilantro coming up right there. Sweet. Anyway, so tomatillos, larkspur, asclepias. Looks like another tomatillo in there. Oof, I'm getting hit with a foot. The size of this foot. She grabs everything with her foot. Hello, lady. Hello, bear. These perfect gothic eyes. Yeah. Anywho. It's finally. So, this is what we're doing for the bed prep. So all of this was tilled and then allowed to set for a while, and then of course I showed up and we've been determining beds. But this is how once you have actually turn that down a little bit. Once you've actually tilled, you let all the weed seeds, basically the seed bank that you've just disturbed is going to root and start sprouting. I just flamed this last night when I couldn't see. But this is the next step after you till. Don't just till and then start planting. So we're going to go through here and flame out these weeds. Everything that's germinated. I can do this left-handed. I'm not left-handed. But anyway, everything that's germinated has to die. So rather than try and scorch everything, you just want it to wilt so that it doesn't have the ability to feed itself. You're taking away all of its solar panels, otherwise known as photosynthesis, and the roots. Grasses are going to come back, but the roots are still left for the microbiome, the worms and whatnot, to come up, eat. Then you're not disturbing the actual soil again. I've already done that with the tillage. This is from raw weedy acreage to plantable plots. Now I'm going to turn it up because I like a flamethrower. Almost gotten through the entire garden. See how it's all churned up. I'm going to go through and finish these out. And all this is a weed, a flamethrower basically. It's a propane tank and a flamethrower. But it works great. And then the beds will be prepped. We'll level these out. You know, break up the chunks and whatnot, level them out. And then that'll be that. And then we can plant right into it. And they're not going to outcompete the grasses. Grasses are designed to regrow after a fire. That's the nature of the prairie. But it will only be basically the rhizomaceous, I can never say that word. The rhizomatous grass, which you've stalled by taking away its ability, but it still has plenty of energy left in that rhizome. So anyway, it still has plenty of energy to regerminate, but the other thing, everything else in the seed bank will be dead, and you can then go back and get rid of that by hand digging in between your veggies. You're eliminating the competition basically, because the weeds are going to grow faster than your veggies are. This is basically our version of Good Morning around here. Like a dog park every day. Get him. Yeah. Oof. Hey. Show offs. Oh, bear. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so obviously we have the interior protected from the dogs. But this was all tilled, and you can see how lush and green it's getting. But yeah, we mowed yesterday. Did all the trimming around. I still need to go through here and dig out all of this competition. These are all blackberries. So we're talking about making this a food forest little by little. I've gone through and taken all of the stuff around the roots of the trees, all the grass that's competing, sucking up all the water. So that's what's going on there. This is our first bed of corn inside the protected area. So it's corn, watermelons in between, another row of corn, and up there where it's blank, the peaches and cream corn did not take. I had, I think, 4 shoots. I had 3 for sure. I think maybe the last one was the 4th, so I transplanted them over here. We have a hybrid watermelon in here, along with some borage that's going to move, and then the marigolds. And the marigolds are great for stink bug relief. That's why we plant them with tomatoes. In here was spinach, and very little came up. I need to weed through all of the everbearing strawberries so that they can really get going. We've got some strawberries already on them. The grapevines that I healed in because we weren't sure where we were going to put them yet. So these are table grapes. And I have more still to put in. But it looks like we're going to have 10 table grapevines, so we need to build a trellis. And I think we're going to do it up there in that patch where the dogs were playing just a minute ago, because that'll be our cleaning station as we harvest. And in here we've got lots of white clover on all of the walkways. We are going to broadcast seed the whole thing with white clover. I don't care if it's in the beds. It's a nitrogen fixer, so that will serve us well. These are very, very shallow beds, and clearly nothing actually made it. Got too little too late, I guess. So I planted the last of the cucumber starts that we did in this one, and we'll just let them spill out. The rest of the cucumbers are doing just fine on the other side. In here, we can deadhead some of those marigolds and give those to the chickens. Basically anything that comes up, like the radishes, most likely will go to the chickens. Unlikely they'll sell at the market. They're just the big white daikons, but they're busting up the soil. It's a little compacted over here. Anyway, this is acorn squash coming in. Then our more cucumbers on this line. Then the tomatoes are coming up. I think very soon I'm going to need to go through and pull off the lower leaves. Debating whether or not I want to pinch off blossoms and let them get taller. Don't know for sure yet. The sun is coming up. It's going to be lovely. The habaneros are doing just fine. If we look down at this soil very closely, this is all white clover coming up. So I took a Parmesan cheese shaker and filled it with the poppy seed, or with the clover seed, and just shook. And we're gonna go through and break that soil up, and then we can seed it, because this has been recently flamed. But this is what I'm talking about. So we're gonna, after you flame, go through, take your yard fork and do this, just to break it up, and then come back through with the metal fork, I'm already using a metal fork, the rake, the hard rake, and just spread it out evenly. You can see where there's like clumps of roots. I'm going to go back through after we've leveled this out and flame it again before we plant it. So this one's getting planted today. So more okra, which is a 60-day crop, but it's nice and tall, so there's lots of things we can plant underneath and with it. But just trying to break it up. This has been flamed once. Well, yeah, flamed once. And then we'll go through and just break up the clods so we can level it out a little bit. I notice these trenches, this absolutely floods up top. Everything seems to be draining across the garden back to that corner where the grapes are healed in. So it's got a good grade on it. So we need to figure out how to capture that water so it can feed the plants, but also release the water. So we've got channels dug. I know I've said it before, but it seems to be working out pretty well. In this bed behind me, we have a full okra and watermelon companion planting going on. So down these rows, we have the okra coming up. This little guy is okra. This little guy is jalapeno. Now, okra attracts the cabbage moths. I know they're named for cabbage, but they harass the heck out of the okra as well. So, cabbage moths don't like peppers, so there's our companion for the okra. Also, they're 18 inches apart, so there's another one over here. And it's really pretty close to the watermelon, but that's fine. The watermelon's going to go around on the ground and shade the roots of the okra. The okra will come up 6 feet tall, no problems. And then we've got on the outside border, we've got peppers. On the inside, we have cucumbers running in between the okra. We can pull them up and tie them into the okra if we need to. Also, with okra, we planted basil. So there are itty bitty basil seeds in here somewhere. Down this line, that looks like maybe that's one. There's one. So as they come up, this will be a mainly okra and watermelon focused bed. That seems to be our cash crop here. And then on this bed, I've got spring peas planted with the okra right here, so it can climb up that as they grow. And then we've got sunflowers, just went in yesterday. So these will be the mammoths. So these guys will get probably 14 feet tall. So they'll be up above the okra. But okra needs pollinators, so we also have zinnias and more zinnias. And for our pepper on this side, we have cayenne peppers going in. And more peas. So I need to go back and replant more seeds from okra on here, and that's what's going to happen. So, okay, so we're putting in table grapes in here, and I've been digging and digging and digging, and there's a big glump. You can't see him, but there's a big glump right here helping. So anyway, so these holes, oh look, there's a trowel on the bottom of this one. Oh, good Lord. So these are 12-foot 4x4s. Let's see if I can get a hold of it. Oh. 12-foot 4x4s. So what we're doing here, because we're going to plant the grapes at the same time, is I've dug these corners. So here will be cement, and then so I'm putting cement in the base for a little bit, just so that it has a brace on the bottom. We're going to let that set up for a little bit, and then on top of that, so it'll have a cement bottom, so like 2 inches of cement on the bottom 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, for the whole square. And then we're going to put a board and pack in the grapevines on each side of this post. So the grapes will get packed in with this clay, and then there's a board, and then we'll fill in the post with the cement, because I think that'll work very well, and it'll give it a good hardcore cleat on the bottom, underneath the soil, because we're coming into hurricane season, and it will absolutely want to go, because it'll be heavy enough, unlike that bamboo trellis that I built, which the wind never took. Even though the tornado took some of my roof, it did not even move the trellis. So we have a board on this side. We'll pack in the grape, and then cement will go on this side. Does that make sense? So we'll take these out, put a little cement in there, then start packing. That's where this is going to go. So this will be 26 by 10 grapevine table grapes and cleaning station. So we have the garden right here. We can reach a hose up here. We've got a commercial sink that we're going to bring up for cleaning, for bringing up to market. And then we can drive across the lawn to load the truck to go to market. That's the plan. And added benefit, it'll be in the shade for us to do the cleaning once the grapes get over the top. And it's probably not going to be worthwhile this year, but we can put a tarp over the top in the meantime and just anchor it down so that we get the shade that we want while the grapes grow. And that's where we're doing it today. Okay, so you can still see the dust flying out of here. So we'll see how good this is for the camera. Anyway, so this is a half a bag, so about 40 pounds of concrete. It's now in the hole. I'm most concerned about these corners. Oh, see if I can't adjust this. Make sure you get the aggregate mixed back up, because it wants to do goofy things. We're not as concerned about the part that's over here as we are with what's over here. So that is just a few inches. I'm going to put a divider right down in there. Right? And then we're going to take one of these grapes. Which have been soaking overnight. I'm going to place it in here, put all that soil around it, pack it in tight. So that's where that's going. Okay, so now as we dug out the hole, we've got the cement. It's dry cement, no puppy, dry cement in the hole. Then as it was digging it out, the topsoil is actually on the bottom of all this. So we've got this real fine clay, but I need some of the topsoil to mix in so it's nice and loose on top of that cement barrier. It'll be nice and loose for the grapes to spread their roots. So I'm mixing some topsoil down in. So I got to get underneath this so I can get to it. So that it's got something, and at the same time I can knock off, because again I cut the sod off first, so this is seriously lovely topsoil, just held on by the awful grass. So I'm just going to knock off the topsoil into the hole. And again, I have not added water. This is going to be kind of like doing the dry pour patio stepping stones that I did at the last house. And so we know water is going to want to get down in there anyway because it's nice and loose, and it isn't basically a clay pot in the bottom. So mixing in the topsoil so that it's got a nice big hole, and then the roots, because they're going to hit cement, the roots will spread out this way, but nice and deep. Because again, it's a grapevine. So hi Calliope, are you stepping on my plant? Can you not? Thanks, I'd appreciate that. So I'm not worried about the clay mixing in, but I want to make sure that I've got some good topsoil in there for nutrient. You want that? You can have that. And again, these holes are, well, this one is actually like 22 inches deep, but it's a nice deep hole. And so when I put the grapevine in, because he's only going to go to about here, so I'm refilling the hole with nice loose soil, and then I'll pack him in. We'll pack the board nice and tight, and then we'll fill up as we go. You guys are so helpful. They're just standing here waiting for something good. Something good. There's got to be something good. Yeah, you're right. There does. It's got to be something good. The last thing I want to do is plant this grass again. So, getting all these rhizomes out of here is part of the plan. Feels about right. Hi. No, it's not for you. It's not. It's not for you. No, it's not for you. So initially we bought Walmart grapes, and that was a mistake, but I thought they were dead, so I went up to Lowe's and used the handy dandy Lowe's guarantee, and purchased more grapes, which we got a root coming out of this one already. So these are doing pretty good. No, sir. I know you're nosy. No. So we've got a good root system going on this one. Right? So I've gone through, dry poured, and there's a camera right behind you recording. Okay, so we have, our second board is nowhere near wide enough, so I'm just putting in big clumps at the bottom, keeping the dirt out of that hole. And then this one, we've got the grape already in the ground. Can't really see the grape, but anyway, it's got a really good root structure on it, and he's now packed in with this light crumbly soil. So then we're going to do the same thing over here. Excuse me, Calliope. Let's see if we can. I don't know. These can't do that. So again, I'm gonna mix and pull. And I'm gonna use these big clumps to block as I go down. And get rid of the crud. Don't want to eat crud. Crud known as grass. Hold the board and pack it. So essentially what I'm doing is creating a pot in the ground with open sides. The open sides will make it so the grapes will spread into the grass and underneath the arbor. Meanwhile, they're right up close to the post when they get going. And a nice big clod there. Nice big clod. This is the benefit of pre-digging, I have to say. I'm sure I'm making anybody who does concrete work cringe, but as a gardener, I'm more concerned with the plant. As the top will be braced substantially. There we go. There's a big chunk right there.
Too big?
Yeah.
Too big.
Yeah. That's okay, we're getting there. All right. So then we can go ahead and, before I put this other plant in, I think. All right, so we're right about level. We're gonna go ahead and put that post in and start pouring the other half of that bag in, because it'll help brace. Here's the plan. Okay. Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Save this for the corner and the bag for the next, for finishing this off.
I could have just poured it right back in the bucket again.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna need it on the next one anyway, because these are going pretty quickly. It's easier to get into that tight space with the bag than bang up against the thing with the bucket, you know what I mean?
This is more than a half a...
That's fine. We're still gonna need more after we pull the boards anyway. But in the meantime, the board, the cement creates a barrier to the soil going this way, you know what I mean? It's the resistance in this case. Because it's all gonna move once I pull this board out. But now I can finish pulling up this section. It's Niagara, okay. Yeah. Nice little root. Very nice, very nice. Very nice, very nice. Come on, just sawdust, let go. There you go. There. Now we're talking. Look at that root. That's a good root. That's an excellent root. Now, spread those out. And then we'll just put some nice, lovely loose soil right on top. Are you helping, sir? Because I think you're exactly in my way. Alright, well, the corners are all set. And we're going in it. We're going to make this hole a little bit bigger so we can put another grape in there on the back side. It'll be the front side, and then underneath we'll have a cleaning table and a wash sink. And yeah, and the lady is setting up wire to keep the dogs out of here. Because when you got hot wire, use it. And then we're going to put birdhouses up on top. So the grapes will not be that high as the tops of those, but the tops of the arbor will go up.